We went through and worked out one-step equations. Today we're going to have where we've got more than one operation involved on one side of the equal sign. We need to work to get the variable all by itself. So our whole objective is to work to get this y isolated or by itself on one side of the equal sign. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to start moving any non-variable number to the other side by doing the opposite. So when I look at this, I have my equal sign right here. My whole objective is to get y all by itself on this side of the equation. So I'm going to work by getting rid of anything that's not attached to the y. So right now, this -2 is not directly attached to the y. So we're going to do the opposite and add 2, or a positive 2. Whatever we do to one side of our equal sign, we have to do to the other, so +2. Okay, on the left-hand side, I've got 7y equals 19 plus 2 gives me 21. Now we're back down to a one-step equation that we solved in lesson 1. So our next step is to go ahead and get that 7 times y separated out. So right now the opposite of multiplying is to divide. So we're going to divide by 7 to get it away from the y. So we'll come over to the right side of our equal sign and divide by 7. We now have y by itself equals 21 divided by 7 is 3. So here we found out that y equals 3. If we choose to do a self-check, when you do that, make sure that when you substitute in, you then follow orders of operation. So here, if I substitute in, this is 7 times 3, not 73. And then I can finish writing out -2. Now I'm not going to write the equals because really when I go through to solve this, I should get 19 when I solve this equation right here. 7 times 3 gives me 21. 21 minus 2 gives me 19. So I know that I did my original problem correctly when I found out that y equals 3. Okay, so let's try another one. Let's try this one. This one's a little bit different because in our first problem, we had that variable sitting in the very front part. It is up to you if you choose to do that or if you want to leave it as is, and I'll go through and actually work it out both ways. I prefer to have my 3b. I'm comfortable really either way, but I know I will have some students that prefer to have that letter sitting out in the very front part. So if you need to rewrite this, you could, but you need to make sure that you keep this negative with the 8 when you shift things. Okay, so if I were to rewrite this just so that I could have the 3b as my front number, it's a positive 3b, so I could write it like this. And then that negative has to stay with this 8. Okay, I don't get to get rid of it yet. So I'm going to write -8 equals 19. Now, some students might need this because that's just the way they need to see the problem. Other students may not. Okay, so if I go through and solve, looking at this, our first step is we're going to move any non-variable number to the other side. So I'll go ahead and work it off of the one that we originally had. So non-variable. Here it's a variable. They're attached to each other. So I'm not going to shift the 3 yet. I'm going to get rid of the one that does not have the letter or the variable attached to it. So right now I have a -8 here. What's the opposite of -8 or -8? That's +8 or +8. So +8 to cancel it out, because -8 plus 8 is 0. It's canceling it out. Whatever I did to one side of my equal sign, I have to do the other, so +8. Simplify this out, I just have 3b left here, equals 19 plus 8 is 27. Okay, now we're back down to our one-step equation. Note that if I work on the problem that's on the right-hand side, I'm going to end up in the same end point. So here it's -8 plus 8, which is what we did here. Cancels out, +8. See how I still ended up with the same thing? 3b left here, not crossed out, equals 27. So either way, whether we prefer to shift that around, that 3b, so that it's sitting in the front or not, we still end up with the same answer as long as we shift correctly. So now I'm going to go ahead and finish working this out. So right now it's 3 times b. I have to do the opposite and divide by 3 to get b by itself. Whatever I did on one side of my equal sign, I have to do on the other. So divide by 3. b equals 27 divided by 3 is 9. So we just found out that b equals 9. So there's a situation of where they shifted around the variable. Let's try another one. Okay, we have 14r plus 16 equals 11. Okay, we're going to get rid of any non-variable first. So right now it's plus 16. We have to work here. Minus 16. To get rid of that first. Minus 16. Now, if you're not great with mental math and you're not super at, I'm hoping you can all subtract 100 minus 16. But if you're not super confident in that, yes, you can use your calculator. But my goal is like on problems like this, hopefully you're pretty comfortable. So if I go through 100 minus 16 is going to put me at 84. Okay, over here I still have 14 and an r. So now I need to work to get the r by itself. So let's see, it's 14 times r. We're going to divide by 14. Divide by 14. 84 divided by 14 is 6. So I just found out that r equals 6. Okay, and if you struggle with that division, no, you don't have to do it longhand. You may use your calculator. My rule is I want to see if you know the steps, not if you're awesome at multiplying and dividing. I don't want you to get frustrated with that math, okay? I want you to work on the steps and getting comfortable with the steps. All right, so I'm going to pull one out here. I'm going to have you do this one. So as I pull it out, you're going to go ahead and pause the video and work it out on a sheet of paper or your whiteboard. So you have 3p minus 13 equals 8. So go ahead and pause your video, work through this problem, and then you can check your answer in just a minute. When you did this one, you should have gotten p equals 7. Okay, if you did not get p equals 7, why don't you check with me and I can go through your steps to see if I can help you identify where you made your mistakes.